Welcome to Southeastern 14 presented by Stakes. I'm Chris Lee. He's Blake Lovell. We are going over picks of several SEC games for Saturday. We'll start in order of tip-off. Vanderbilt travels to Missouri. Commodores won their opener in overtime over South Carolina. Missouri coming off I'm not going to say devastating road loss to Arkansas. Maybe a little disappointing given the way that one unfolded. But Missouri has been on fire at home of late. I was at Vandy's game with South Carolina. I think you've got a coach in Jerry Stackhouse who's close to going on tilt. Missouri is about a 10-point favorite according to Ken Palm. I like Missouri to win the game. I like Missouri to cover that spread if that is what it is. Am I wrong here?
Quickly, by the way, if you're looking for Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn, Arkansas, we did those in separate videos. We're probably going to do that moving forward. The bigger games, we'll kind of get kind of individual videos. And we don't want to say these games are not important, but it's just the bigger, more primetime matchups we'll probably kind of do into separate videos because we spend a little more time on those. But not to say that we don't want to spend some time on Missouri Vanderbilt here, which will be on CBS, by the way. It's a CBS national game
Wow.
here. So
Why?
uh, it's an interesting one, but no, I don't think you're wrong. I think Missouri bounces back in a big way here. We said Vanderbilt's the kind of team, though, if you really look at it, they're kind of a team that
They
has
do
not
they
gotten
do play close. They don't get blown out a lot, but
they
I
keep it
just don't think
close.
they've got the offensive firepower that Missouri has, and I don't think it's close in terms of body for body.
Yeah, the only thing you could see here is just a little bit of a, maybe slight slow start for Missouri, perhaps coming off a loss, kind of a disappointing one, like you said. But that place is sold out, right? You want to talk about the differences, Chris, in the picture that you circulated at Memorial Gym
Ooh,
in terms of home atmosphere. Like Missouri is back, like they are back in terms of fan support. That
the
place is
zoo
sold out.
is back.
Doesn't matter who it is, Vanderbilt struggle, but it doesn't matter. There's going to be a lot of Missouri fans there, and I think the atmosphere here is a big one. And yes, I just think statistically, there's a lot of things in Missouri's favor here based on their ability to turn teams over, make that easier on their offense. And again, they've been so good offensively because of that. Vanderbilt also a team I think from a 3-point standpoint, that's been a big part of their success offensively. And you never know sometimes when you're away from home, um, kind of what that can look like. So that would be my issue here. And I just think Missouri is, yeah, they're due for a bounce back game here. And although I would not be shocked if Vanderbilt keeps it close because that's just kind of been the trend if you look at their entire season. I just don't think they have kind of that next gear to be able to keep up with Missouri.
All right, next one in order of tip off. Let's see. We've already talked Alabama, Kentucky, Georgia, and Florida.
Mike
Now that
Whiteball.
one is much more interesting than I would have thought. Florida has been one of the 2 or 3 most disappointing teams in the league, in my opinion. We've talked about how the Gators have not beaten a good team yet. Georgia had a really nice win over Auburn. Has Georgia won on the road yet? Georgia has not won on the road yet. It has lost to Georgia Tech by 2 points. It has lost to Wake by 10 points. Georgia's got kind of, I don't know if underrated is the right word, but Terry Roberts and Cario Oquindo can do some things. Auburn or Florida has just been so inconsistent at guard recent years. On top of that, you've got Colin Castleton's been in a little bit of a funk. Man, Blake, am I crazy? Do you think Georgia can go on the road and win this game?
If you've seen my face this whole time, first time I've done it this season in terms of our SEC picks. I'm picking the upset here. I
Yeah.
think that pressure wise, like there's more pressure on Florida here than there's Georgia in both instances, right? From a Florida standpoint, there's pressure. It's been a disappointing season. Like I think there's pressure in that regard. Oh, and then by the way, you're playing your former coach who, let's be honest, you didn't fire, but we all kind of know how that thing played out. Um,
He got sent to Storage B.
well, if that's Storage B, Storage B looking pretty good right now.
Storage B's got a little more life in it than it usually
There
does.
there's room for a couch and TV. There's all kinds of room in there. It's not one of those where you can put about 3 books in there, and that's about it. No, I mean, I am like, and like we said, our picks are, let's call it what it is. We're just making picks here where we don't have
We're
an exact
usually pretty
science.
conservative, but sometimes you got to call your shot.
Nah,
Florida's a 7-point
sometimes
favorite. Let's just ride with it.
you take a chance, and I think this is one where, like you said, there's not a big sample size for Georgia on the road this season, so it's not like we are in any way confident about this. But I don't know. I just, like we said, Florida's been close a lot. And to me, I feel like this is another one of those games where we just have not seen enough from Florida yet to feel confident that they are a 7-point favorite at
Nope,
home against a team
not
that
buying it.
just beat Auburn. And I know it was in Athens, but Georgia looked good in that game. So yeah, I'll take my chance too on this one. I think that there's a lot of pressure on Florida heading into this one, and um, yeah, it'll be a good game. I'd be surprised if Florida comes out and just blows out Georgia, because I just think we've seen enough from Georgia to understand that they're gonna be right there. Would be my expectation, unless let's use this as the caveat, they just get turnover happy. But that's probably the only thing I look at here. Maybe Florida does some things defensively, and maybe Florida's style in terms of getting up and down the floor a bit. We know Mike White's teams with this team at Georgia, that's probably not the recipe for success necessarily. Um, but I'm with you. I'm gonna take my chance and pick the first upset of the season here in the Mike White Bowl. So
You're welcome for the kiss of death, Georgia. Okay, predict
yeah,
sports better than the crowd for a chance to win NFTs. With stakes, players can cement their sports predictions against friends, other fans, and influencers forever. Don't let your sports genius go overlooked. Join stakes and have the best predictions captured in the moment. Go to playwithstakes.com/14. User invite code Southeastern14 for a double welcome bonus. Okay, Ole Miss is visiting Mississippi State. That also a CBS game. What is going on here?
2 big CBS ones here.
Yeah, let's see. State is a 6-point favorite at home. Two teams that really like to get after you defensively. Offensively, they are both limited in various ways. But strength on strength, State defends better than Ole Miss does statistically. State's at home. To me, that's not a hard call.
I'll be honest, these are 2 teams that I think want to win in the same fashion. Like
Right.
they literally want to do a lot of the same things to win this game. And in terms of, how they need to win, really, I mean, very similar size standpoint, very similar with their offensive deficiencies, very similar in offensive rebounding numbers, similar in some areas defensively. Like they're kind of a lot of similarities here. But I think that's where, again, you take the home team. And I think you just Mississippi State's on a 3-game losing streak here. 2 of those games, a product of playing the 2 best teams in the SEC in Alabama and Tennessee. Boy, did they look bad at Tennessee, though, and that can make you hesitate a little bit here.
Of course, Tennessee can make a lot of people look brutally bad.
Right, but they didn't make Missouri look that bad. Or excuse me, Ole Miss that bad. So
that's true.
But
that was also in Oxford.
Well, that's exactly, and that's difference in home games. We said it really matters in the SEC, and we've seen that trend over the years. So. Yeah, I think, rivalry game, I think Mississippi State bounces back here, but I think they bounce back, Chris, but I don't think they're good enough offensively just to come out and, run away with this game. I think that's why, if you're looking at like points and stuff, which were not betters, but I would tend to think there's something in a spread, something in an under, just based on how these 2 teams play. I don't know, but we don't have those numbers, but they're just not good offensively, and I think that will give Ole Miss an opening. It's there for the taking. I don't know if Ole Miss either can capitalize from their offensive standpoint. So,
all right, we've got Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU at A&M to go quickly. Betting $11 to win 10 stinks. BROTHROW lets you bet 10 to win 10. It lets you bet on all 50 states. It's not the house, so bettors have a fair chance at winning. It's the only sports betting platform that doesn't take a cut of every bet. No deposit money, no minimum bets, no need to connect your bank account. Bettors pay each other directly. It's a hassle-free sign-up process that gets you in the action in seconds. Go to brothrow.com/SE14. And once you're there, ask to join our private Southeastern 14 group. Have some fun with us, and I think you'll be glad you did. Okay. Tennessee at South Carolina. The Vols have been destroying everything in their path. I guess they didn't destroy Ole Miss, but you saw what they did to State. Tennessee defending so well. Josiah Jordan-James is back. Zakai Ziegler playing well off the bench. South Carolina just is very limited outside of Gigi Jackson, other than when Chico Carter shows up for his twice a year huge game, which he had one of those at Vandy. I just don't see South Carolina at all able to match Tennessee. This one is about a 17-point favorite through KenPom. I think the Vols probably win by more than that, Blake.
Yeah, I'll take the Vols. I think this is, I would just be really surprised unless it's just full-on motivational tactics from Lamont Paris just to really get South Carolina to get the best season or the best game of the season out of them, which even then I think it'll be a tough challenge to beat Tennessee. And I just defensively, if you look at the matchups, I just think South Carolina is really going to struggle to score here. Look, South Carolina fans, I know, you lost it overtime to Vanderbilt. Maybe in a sense, you're like, okay, we had our chances and maybe a little more optimistic, but Vanderbilt and Tennessee are on complete ends of the impact scale when it comes to ability to affect the game in as many ways as Tennessee can. And so Tennessee I think wins going away here.
Okay, last one, LSU and Texas A&M. That's on the SEC Network. Man, LSU comes so close at.
I don't know.
Hey, that's what I'm thinking too. I have no idea. LSU hadn't played a tough schedule, hasn't played away from home a lot. Did really well in hanging in there till the final second at Kentucky. A&M loses to Wofford at home a few weeks ago, goes and beats Florida on the road, forgets its jerseys, but doesn't forget to win. A&M has had a habit. We've said this often. Buzz Williams' teams have tended to play better in the league than they do out of it. I guess for lack of a better idea, we've talked about how tough it is to win on the road. A&M about a 4-point favorite, according to Ken Pomeroy. I maybe split the difference and go LSU or A&M to win, LSU to cover. Is it time for the coin again?
It might be time for the coin again. We're gonna start using this all the time. Let's not forget A&M started 4-0 in SEC play last year, and then they lost 8 in a row. So, let's not forget that. That there is just something weird about that. And one of those games they won that you didn't expect them to win was at home against Arkansas. Of course, Arkansas, didn't start great, but this is I think this is a toss up, but I'm gonna stay on the LSU bandwagon, man. I've been there. Everybody knows if you've watched our stuff this season, I've kind of continued to stay pretty high on LSU. And look, they were right there with a chance to win at Rupp. I mean, that team didn't back down. We knew they weren't going to. It's the way they play. They're not going to back down from anything. They need a little bit more out of some of those guys. We said maybe a little more consistency, but still having KJ Williams and Adam Miller and again, that's where we're getting guys like Hayes and Fountain and Hannibal and all those guys stepping up. I still think LSU can go in and win this game. It's just A&M. That's what A&M does. And, theoretically, they could start 4-0 again. They can start 5-0. They play LSU next, Missouri at home, at South Carolina, home against Florida. Who knows? We could look up in the Aggies, maybe 5-0 in SEC play, but I'm going to pick them to lose this one just because I think I'm going to stay on the LSU train for right now because I feel like I've seen enough of them to feel like they find a way to win this one, even if it's very close, which I would expect.
All right, we're previewing every single SEC basketball game and conference this season. Best way to get those, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button. That helps us out. You're watching Southeastern 14 presented by Steaks. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you soon.